guys, how we doing?
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays is right. Like we talked about before, we're doing a end of the year episode. So just a recap of some of the books we went over, some of our favorite books, and review and recap of our first year in everything. And a gingerbread house.
It's holiday time. Might as well do a gingerbread house.
Yeah. So before we get going, we had some people that wanted to do our introduction for us tonight.
And hi, just want to introduce ourselves. I'm Nathan, and that's Tyler. We're from NatDaddy Collectibles, and we sell exclusive comic covers, mostly from Big Country Comics. Shout out to Justin there. Tonight we're going to be doing a little bit of a book that maybe most people don't hear about. I know a lot of people go into the store and they grab, your Venoms and your Spider-Mans and that, but a lot of people miss out just on independence and storylines that they just don't try because they don't know about. So, check out your local LCS and give them a try. Speaking of, we like to give a shout out to our local LCS, 204 Comics. They're the ones that supplied our books for this evening, and if you're in the Winnipeg area, check them out. On that note, I'm sure we've taken up enough of everybody's time. I just want to thank everybody for checking us out.
Well, thanks, guys. That was pretty cool. They did the intro for Ashley and Justin for us.
Also, God, awesome.
Yeah.
They didn't say anything about tags, but the tags weren't around back then yet. Well, I mean, tags was around, but we weren't around with tags then. We didn't even know about them.
Yeah, that was from our first episode.
Back in June, I believe, right?
I think, yeah, early June, yeah. And I didn't even have the original video file. It was corrupted. I had to download it off YouTube, go to the website and download it off YouTube.
Makes sense, because even just now, almost a year in, you think we'd figure out how to use that mute button.
Yeah, right? With this one being even pre-recorded, we had to restart twice because the thing was muted at one point or another.
Yeah.
And we're only, 2 minutes in? Well, let's get started off. First thing we'll talk about is some of our favorite... Whoa, what did I do with the backgrounds? There we go. We're going to talk about some of our favorite books this year. So, first one up was actually put on the list by accident, but I think it was one that we both agreed definitely deserved to be up there.
Yeah.
And that's the new Moon Knight series.
Yeah. Jen McKay's been writing that. And
there's been, 3 issues now? 4 issues?
5.
5?
5's coming out this week, I believe.
Yeah, and it's been a pretty solid series. He's even getting his own tie into that Devil's Reign, and in that he's been arrested.
Yeah. That was kind of that shocked me when that first happened in that issue. That was kind of cool.
Yeah. So this has been a good series. It's gotten lots of heat around it for obvious reasons.
The show.
The show, exactly. And, Moon Knight's just a really cool character in general. Next one we got here, and this one was the one that wasn't initially on the list, but when we were going through it again and adding more stuff, it definitely made the cut. And that's Strange Academy. Now, a series that started last year, but continuing into this year, a really solid series with really good characters, really good stories. They've gone a few arcs in yet, and there's not been an issue that I haven't been excited for.
No.
Or been finished and been happy about.
And the art's been amazing, too. They've
got a good writing team, good Artwork. Yeah, Scotty Young even is writing this book.
He's writing it, and it's not him doing the art, though. It's Alberto Ramos.
So, one we're looking forward to seeing more of in the future.
Especially now with Doctor Strange being dead.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't been able to keep up with the last issue since the death of Doctor Strange started.
Yeah, I know.
So I don't even know how it's affecting the Academy.
The last issue
I think they
of
were all
Academy?
sent home.
No, yeah, and then the last issue of Strange Academy that came out last week was like a 10 years in the future issue.
Yeah, so I'll have to read that one still. It's sitting down on my reading pile.
Yeah. Look at this. Spider-Man's hiding behind the chimney. He's going to be whipping a snowball at Batman. And then the Joker's going to be hiding behind a tree.
From this angle, it looks like he's hiding behind Thanos' butt. Next up, we've got of course, there's a Star Wars comic that makes the list, and while they're all great, maybe not Dr. Aphra. I'm not a huge fan of that one.
I like the character, but not the book ever.
Yeah. The Darth Vader series has definitely been the highlight for the Star Wars franchise and comic books.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure if there was a show or movie, that would be the case as well.
Eventually.
Um,
Oh, that's something that comes out in a few days.
That's right.
Tomorrow is the last episode of Hawkeye,
Mm-hmm.
and then the week after that is Boba Fett.
Yeah, Boba Fett's on the 29th.
29th.
Yeah, that's not too long off. That's come up pretty quick.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, because the 25th is Saturday.
Mm-hmm. Now, this cover I have up here, I don't think is from this year. I'm quite certain it's from last year as well. But I think it's one of the most iconic covers from this third volume.
Yeah.
So I just chose that one because it's a personal
Actually,
favorite.
I saw today, too, that hardcover of this came out today. Ominous.
I saw that.
I can't say it anymore.
Omnibus.
Omnibus. Yeah, that came out. The Charles Soule one.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that.
So, like we had said, really good writing team. The artwork is always the best in the Vader comics, I find. And I love the perspective on it. And the series, this one in particular, amongst all the other Star Wars series that are ongoing, hasn't had a bad issue. I thought about when we were doing this, doing War of the Bounty Hunters, just because it was a big thing.
It wasn't a good series, though. You said that let us down.
Exactly. It started
was, like
strong
said,
and then
like
just
more like
tapered off.
posing of the bounty hunters. It was so boring.
So the Vader series definitely makes the cut and makes the list for that reason. Next up, this is one that I think it was more the excitement coming up to it is why I put it on here.
Right.
Yeah,
that's not on my list.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed this series.
I was very looking forward to it with lots of anticipation. And it's not working out the way I thought it would. The Superman 78, which I wasn't looking forward to as much, but still looking forward to, that one's been amazeballs.
What's next on the list. So
cool.
we'll even go straight over to
we can have it at the same
that.
time if you want.
Yeah. So Superman 78. And the reason I put one of them on was because I put both on. I wanted to talk about both, so they're kind of joined. And like you said, that Batman one is still good, but this Superman one has been a lot better. So, in like staying, tonally accurate to the characters and to the era, right? The film, the universe that they exist in. And I haven't had an issue of Batman I hadn't liked, but I definitely feel more excited for the Superman issues. When
it's more true to what they said it was going to be.
Yeah.
Like extensions of the original movies. Whereas
Batman feels like it's sort of an Elseworld story that is based off of the Keaton.
It doesn't feel like anything like the Batman movies anymore. Oh, where the other ones totally do, like completely still do.
But one Batman series in particular that we've followed from the beginning, and I think this is probably one of the earlier books we covered as well, is Batman Reptilian.
Yeah.
This one, I almost wanted to put up that newer one, Batman Imposter.
Me as well.
That one's been really good, but it's not far enough in, I don't think.
Well, the third book came out last week, and it was a good book as well. I didn't review it just because there was so much other things.
Yeah.
But it was good. But what I wanted to have this one on there instead.
Sucks.
I know. I'm going to put the other one. What I wanted
to microwave
is aluminum.
Yeah, I guess not.
It's you made me script that. Oh, with this one I wanted to put was so much better because of the art. That Liam Sharp art there was so great. Like I said, I bring it up every time. It makes me think of Arkham Asylum graphic novel from the 80s. Very, very awesome. Like, so we started off that we thought might be a little too murky, and it seemed to get really better fast because it's almost like he heard people say that, and it kind of changed. Yeah,
I mean, and like we discussed too, I think it starts off with that really, you said murky, but it's distorted.
It's in the sewer.
It's this distorted art style. Everything seems like almost
maniac.
Can't tell what some of it is supposed to look like, but as the series goes on, it clears up.
Yeah.
And I think it's almost like the art is becoming more clear as the mystery becomes more clear as well.
A little bit, and they get out of the sewer a little bit. And also, what was cool too was it was Garth Ennis doing, or Enos, depending on how some people say it, doing the writing there, and he had a really nice take, or not nice because it wasn't nice, but he had a really cool take.
It was
a cool take on Batman. You know, it made Batman like super sarcastic and like very very uber. Not necessarily violent, because he didn't do a lot of beating up and stuff. But when he did do stuff, he did some pretty effed up stuff.
He was a pretty gruesome Batman.
Yeah, like how he killed the monster and stuff. And
held no punches.
Yeah, like he
used people as human bait.
The way you would think Batman would be in real life.
Yeah.
Like if it was a real Batman, you know, he would be like definitely like he wouldn't kill people necessarily, but he would take them pretty close to the edge.
Save them.
Well, yeah, I might not do that either.
Our next and final book from DC, and I think has been probably everyone's favorite from DC this year, and that's The Nice House on the Lake.
Mm-hmm. That's we all both are huge fans of the Tinian work.
Yeah.
But this is our favorite. And I mean, I love every issue that comes out for Department of Truth. I always forget
that this did this version, like this cover first,
yeah.
because of how many comics have already done homages to this.
It's all his comics.
But it still, in such short time,
mm-hmm.
in 7 months?
Yeah.
6 months?
Yeah.
So it just pretty crazy that they've all been done that fast.
But yeah, this is the one it just has been the best story, and all his stories are awesome. But this has just been the best one. Like it's so twisted and keeps you guessing so often.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Art's pretty cool in that book too.
It does have really cool art, actually.
Yeah.
Their alien interdimensional friend. I always forget his name. Walter. Anytime he's in there and they sort of see him out of the corner of their eye,
he's
this weird, distorted creature.
Yeah.
That looks so cool.
Yeah. And there's that one cover, and I think it's the cover from the last issue, B cover, where that's the cover, where his face is all messed up like that on the cover, like a really headshot.
Yeah, yeah, it looks like he's been shot through the face in a ripple.
But yeah, just almost like the T-1000.
Yeah, like exactly like the Liquid Terminator.
You don't have to say the Liquid Terminator.
That's
everybody knows what the T-1000 is.
Got to cover our bases. So almost name the actor too. You know,
oh, come on!
I don't know his name. Well, since it's a bit of a review of our entire first year,
yeah.
Before we go into the indies, maybe let's talk about our first. I guess it's not our first time setting up at a show, but our first time setting up a show is NatDaddy Collectibles.
It was their first kind of bigger show.
So let's put that up there. There it is.
Mm-hmm.
A little slideshow thing. I look good in that jacket, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
So funny, because that is the show where we met Justin formally.
Yeah.
And he asked us if we wanted to become business associate partners / whatever.
Yeah, if you look at the top right corner of all these pictures, there's that big white wall behind us there, and that's the backside of Justin's booth, and you two are back and forth, walking back and forth, chatting all day.
Well, that and just looking at stuff.
But notice how in all these pictures, I'm the only one there.
I'd known Justin.
You were perusing.
No, I was the one taking the pictures. I had known Justin already. Me and you had known Justin because we'd bought stuff off him in the past and met him when he'd come into town just to do weekend drop-offs and stuff. He would set up every once in a while in the.
Think these candies are any good?
For sure they are. He would set up over in the thrift market, Thrifties market. What do you want to call it?
Thirsties.
Thirsties. Yeah.
Yeah, and then jump ahead to our last con, which was mind-blowing to actually be attending. We didn't set up ourselves, but attending with Big Country as a vendor.
We could have, but we didn't think it wasn't going to benefit us. We wanted to help out the guys that helped us, and we wanted to learn a bit.
Mm-hmm. So that's And we didn't take nearly as many photos as we had liked.
We couldn't. We were too busy.
There was so much going on. It was a great weekend.
We took a couple little videos.
We got some interviews, yeah. Oh, there's the photo with Hugh, and there's the one. Oh, I love that one. It's come out with the effing birds and
Aaron
Patrick Stewart.
We met some amazing people this year.
Oh, I don't have that one on loop.
We met some amazing people this year. People I'd never ever thought I would ever meet in my life. And
there we go.
Not that I mean like I knew them, like, oh, these are super famous people, but real comic book artists, real art, real writers, real comic book store owners, guys that do business like
we met people from all across Canada. It was
even,
and they're not speaking to you as a
him vendor. Right there, Aaron Reynolds, man. This is a big time writer. He's travels the world and has multiple outlets of edutainment or whatever you want to call it, entertainment. And,
he's the creator of Swear Trek.
And Effin' Birds and a few other things.
Yeah, the writer of Effin' Birds. That's even on
he's
the next page here.
He's the one that we gave the...
There's Effin' Birds right there, and our copy's...
It's right there.
Right there, too, yeah. Actually, I think that is our copy.
Yeah, it is. And, we gave him that statue there at the show, and that's the statue that ended up getting sent off to Keith Hilberman.
Yeah, and we hadn't really said who it got sent to yet.
Yeah, it's been long enough now, so...
But, yeah so
Keith
it was...
Hilberman.
And that, I think... wasn't even when it was fully writ on. I think there was just one.
Yeah, and then we went to town afterwards because we all got kind of really drunk and stoned that night.
Yeah, so that was an awesome night.
That was because we had a wicked success. We did awesome at the show, and they did very well financially too.
Yeah, so that's definitely in the year coming and the years to come as well.
That cemented us.
We can't wait to potentially set up our own. Maybe that's a lot of work for myself, but I definitely don't mind helping out Justin and the Big Country crew. So it'll be nice to see going forward what they do as well, because I know like that weekend went really well for them, and all the artists had a great time. And
we haven't had time to mention it yet because it just got announced yesterday. But they just announced, the Big Country guys. Just announced they have a new book coming out, and it is Mike, as in Mike Ruth, our personal friend that we met this year, who I talk to quite often on the I don't know what you call it, IM, Instagram Messenger, or not Instagram, Facebook Messenger. Is that right? Is it called I Messenger? No, okay. Either way.
Just say you talk on Facebook.
Yeah, they just released a new, I guess it goes on sale December 26th, Boxing Day.
You gonna say what it is?
Usagi Yojimbo, a new series coming out. I believe, I forget what it's called actually, Wolf and One or something like that. I don't remember the name, but it's and Mike does the cover. And it's a really nice cover, and we're gonna get a few copies. So if anybody wants some, you go through Justin, of course, or if you're local, support Nat Daddy. Especially too, we got Christmas coming up. I know it's just a few days away. If you guys need a last minute stocking stuffer and that, not that I suggest stuffing any of these in a stocking, but hit us up. We got some exclusives, and we might even offer some deals too if people want to hit us up. Now, I'm not going to offer any deals now because you got to hit us up and see what kind of Christmas deals we might offer you. So.
Yeah. Your Christmas gift came early.
Yes.
It was just a little folder to hold comics because we always carry around so many at a time. And I threw together a little cover on it. What you don't know is there's something else coming, and I won't be here for it.
Me?
Yeah. So when it gets delivered, you'll have to see it. It should be coming tomorrow, actually.
Cool.
So I might be here, I might not. So let's jump into indies. We'll start with Image Comics first because they had a pretty stellar year.
Image? Image or Indies?
Well, Indies.
Okay.
Indies had a fantastic year,
mm-hmm.
but Image as well. They had a lot of books, and I noticed when we were choosing them, a lot of books are Image books.
That's true.
And first up is a personal favorite of mine, and that's Ha-Ha. Just a 4-issue series, 5-issue series.
Right, but I'm gonna associate Ha-Ha / Ice Cream Man because I associate them as being like the same family.
Yeah, much like you would say the House of Slaughter and Something's Killing the Children are
Exactly.
in the same vein.
Yep.
But it's a great book. I love these anthology types, and it was great that it connected with Ice Cream Man. And we sort of had hints that it was going to, and they had mentioned it.
Yeah.
But it's a series that I really loved, and one of the artists that we had met at the Winnipeg Comic Con this past year was Casey Parsons, who I didn't even think to grab the picture of it here. He actually did a cover for #1, which is one of the most iconic covers they've done, and that's
the Donald Trump
dressed
clown.
as a clown.
Yeah.
So that was really awesome.
Yeah, he has some other stuff from us that he's got. Like he's doing a couple of covers for us and that, and commission wise, and he's gonna send that all up, and then I'm gonna put that up for sure there. My Donald Trump haha one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I didn't even know that until I met Casey that day, and I was.
Yeah, I think we both got pretty starstruck once we found that out.
I flipping through his portfolio,
covers.
But then and then following those guys all year, I checked out Pearl's Boutique on Facebook. There, it's from these are Casey's designs on the T-shirts. We have several designs in there, and I got 3 of them. They're kind of cool, and they got more coming out.
They've always got more coming in.
Yep.
Next, like I said, there's quite a few image books in here. I think, a decent amount. So this is one that you're more a fan of, and I can appreciate the art, but maybe not quite the sultriness of it.
The story's awesome on this, pretty good too, though.
And that's American Andolfo's Sweet Paprika.
Yeah.
It does really have great artwork. American Andolfo is probably one of the best artists out there right now.
Well, for this type of art. For sexy cheesecake art.
I've seen them do other stuff that's...
not as sexy, but still good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she's doing that that Red Sonja series right now, which I really like.
I read, I think we did the first 2 issues, and that's all I read of them.
Of this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know you've continued to read it.
Yeah,
I
love it.
Is it done now? Did it just end, or is
there
another...
now it's going to keep going to like 12 issues. I don't know.
It got extended.
I guess so. I don't know if it was originally like that, because I thought it was just 5 or 6, and now it's going all the way to 12.
Oh, well, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
And this is another one. A ton of covers, and they've all been pretty good. Mm-hmm. I know you have some of the black bag ones, and those ones are actually they're nice.
Those are usually by her.
Yeah,
Adolfo.
Yeah.
The one comes out tomorrow. I haven't seen it yet because obviously it's black bag or pink bag on her. Black bag is the. Is it on here? Last book you'll ever read?
I don't think so.
No, but Barbaric's on here, and that has black bag covers.
Yeah. Yeah. Of all the Andolfo series, would you say this one's one of your favorites? Yeah. I know you follow most of Andolfo's stuff.
The one that's like the most mainstream that you could read it without people feeling like they're kind of reading too dirty. Because some of the stuff's pretty dirty. It's like that Faithless, or that that's that other super dirty one. I can't remember right now. But it's it's definitely one of my favorites from her.
So next is
it's actually up on a lot of people's favorites of the year list, not just.
I think it's because it stands out. It's different.
It's a good story too.
Next we got is The Me You Love in the Dark.
Another great story. I love this book. This is one of my favorites of the whole year. Like not just on this favorite list, but favorites.
I don't know if this is one that we reviewed at all.
We did.
I don't remember reading any of them.
Issue 1 we for sure did. I don't know about 2.
It might have been during that week that I wasn't able to get anything.
I'm not sure, but I love that book. It's great. It's done now, so I can read now. It's not going about spoilers. The last issue just came out last week or the week before, and it is about a artist, a painter who has like burned out, and she needs like some inspiration and needs to get some work done for a big upcoming gallery show. So she rents a.
We have another book that's kind of similar to that.
Yeah, it's the exact same kind of thing, and but this one is way darker, similar but darker. and she actually looks for a haunted house and rents it out, and she's working in there, and she ends up being like a ghost person, but it's you never really see the creature completely because it's in the dark, 'cause it's like horribly like mutatedly disfigured in that. And they fall in love, and they end up getting have a relationship, and that's like her muse, and end up having like lots of good work, but then he won't let her leave ever. Becomes like obsessed with her, like single, or yeah, like single like female type thing. So yeah, they end up having a big fallout. House gets burned, creature dies, and I can't remember if she dies or not too in the end. She might, I can't remember, but it's
Potential spoilers? Potential not
I can't
spoilers?
remember in the end if she dies
It's
or not.
50-50.
But I mean, the house definitely gets burnt down and everything. But it's so creepy. Again, Scotty Young's doing the artwork in there. Oh no, Scotty Young's doing the
I
writing.
think he's writing
He's
this
doing
one.
the cover, not the artwork inside. But it's awesome, awesome, awesome. So again, probably one of my favorites of the year. Not just, well, obviously it's on the list, but like my top 3 or 4, if not top 3.
Yeah, I could see that because you always talked about this book
I
after
loved
you read
it.
it.
I loved it. It was so good.
Yeah. And Scotty Young is definitely one of my favorite artists, but when he's writing too, he's a really good writer. He's a good storyteller.
I never thought he was a good writer up until this and Strange Academy.
Academy.
And I think for a lot of people, it's the same thing too. His art was a stronger suit, but now these 2 books have been pretty awesome. Oh, just that Middle West too, which is pretty good. You've never read that?
No, but that's one that's been going on for quite a while.
I think it's done, but it gets a lot of talk about because it's always been like optioned and stuff like that.
Next up, our last book from Image. So I said there was quite a few of them. And this is one that slipped by your list. I don't know how, because you love this series, but maybe not as much as I do.
There's just so many, and I was trying to pick them out.
But that's Primordial, and I'm a fan of the Department of Truth covers, but not so much the series itself.
Right.
Too many word walls.
Yeah.
And that's fine. We've talked about that before. So I get that nice cover style that they do in this, where you get this sort of what do you even call this art? Pop art, I guess.
Yeah.
And the story in the first issue, it is a bit of a slow start, but it's interesting. You get so many different art styles, and that's something we've talked about every time we reviewed it. And we just did issue
4.
4, right?
It's there's so many different styles of art in here, but it's all done by the same gentleman, which is Andrea Sorrentino. He's become one of our the most talked about artists of the year in our show. Him and Andrea Muti, they both have the same name there.
Yeah, so this is definitely one of my top books of the year. And I actually, it's surprising how many books that were either limited series, where they were short, 3-4 issues, that made this list.
Because they're a story.
Or a series that only is at maybe 6 issues tops. And it's not even a full, like
they do
Nice House on the Lake.
Yeah.
But they're really good. And they're not all ongoing.
And how many of the books on this list are by Lemire?
I was thinking that yesterday when I
thought there'd be more Tinian, but I mean, all the Tinian books are good, so it's hard for. But there were so many Lemire books and a couple Buns.
When putting the list together, I want to choose a small handful of the big AAA guys, Marvel, DC. But like we always talk more about the indies, so I figured we'd do more of an indie showcase, which you made easy because your list was mainly indies anyway.
Because that's the books I enjoyed this year. I didn't really enjoy too many Marvel books this year.
No. But one of your favorites that you read was Eat the Rich.
I love that book.
And that one still has a few issues left.
Yep.
That's one that we thought was ending sooner, but it's not.
Yeah, it's 6 issue, and right now it's at 4. I think 5 comes out this week. And yeah, that's awesome book there. It is about a woman and her fiance. They're going back to kind of like a rich community for the summer where her fiance is from. So she's intimidated about that already. So she's very nervous about that, trying to fit in, and because she's not upper high class and snotty and all that. So she shows up and she's having a hard time trying to fit in already because of all this. And then one night at a supper, at a roast, they're roasting it's a retirement of one of the employees, like a butler. I believe it was a butler.
I think it was a servant of some
Servant,
sort.
yeah, biggest butler, and they're roasting him, and it's a big food barbecue, not barbecue per se, but a big supper afterwards, and the whole
cookout.
Yeah, and the whole community's there, and these are very, very rich people. And the lady sees that not only are they like roasting this guy and like ceremonially, but they're actually doing it figuratively too. They take him out back and kill him and eat them. And these rich people do that. They eat their help when they want, when they're done with them. So
And
it's all arranged.
Yeah,
These people make contracts and stuff like that to do it. For whatever reasons, they sign on, whether it's they need money for family operations or they're going to die anyways or something like that. So it's all arranged, but this girl's horrified, and now she has to spend the rest of the summer living through this, and whether she can or not survive this morally or even just physically, because people start finding out
journey from issue 1 to issue 5, I think was just out. 4
yeah.
She's starting to join in and learn what is really.
But she's not eating them yet, because it doesn't happen like every day or anything. It's like big events.
It's events.
Except when people retire or like say big events.
Now our next one.
Oh Jesus!
An earthquake. Another book from Boom. We didn't say this one's from Boom, but you can see it up in the corner there. But this one's from Boom, and this is one I don't recall reading at all.
Do you have any memory recall?
We did so many, but we do like 12 books every week.
I know.
I didn't even think how many books we've done this year.
I know.
Probably done a couple hundred.
Oh, at least.
So tell us about this one.
Oh, Leela, sorry.
I'm almost positive we didn't do this one.
No, well, you did the first issue, and I don't know, maybe you just didn't pay attention or just didn't.
It could have been one of the ones I didn't like.
Yeah.
I tend to throw those out of my mind unless I really dislike them.
That is true.
Like that weird Space Power Rangers one.
Oh, yeah, we didn't get that one.
No.
Yeah, so this one is, Layla Starr is actually the Hindu god of death. And she comes to life because she is no longer immortal. And she's on Earth as this person. She keeps dying and has all these different, I won't say adventures, but she has to deal with all these different circumstances. And she's trying to find this one girl who Layla Starr to get her immortal death back, because this girl kind of inherited it now. So it sounds a little confusing, but it's really, really deep. It's written by Ram V. He's written quite a few amazing stories this year. For this, he was doing Swamp Thing as well. He did so well in Swamp Thing that he did they extended that series, and Mike did that one amazing cover there, and
two amazing covers.
Well, the same, two different versions, but Layla Starr is one that I actually saw. This list was on the Variety magazine's top books of the year too.
Really,
yeah. That's why it's like, I forgot about that book, because I had forgotten about that book.
That's impressive.
Yeah, very impressive.
Now,
how do you like this coming along so far? You can see what's going on here. You got Joker laughing behind a tree there with a pile of snowballs. You got Spidey up here holding a snowball. You got Batman with the back of his head all beamed with the snowball.
Next up, we got probably one of our favorite publishers from the year. Aftershock.
This and Black Scout. Or Black Caravan. Black Caravan.
Yeah, that's true. And I think we cover almost every book that both of those companies do. Especially
Aftershock. I know we even like doing other large size books now.
Yeah, those books are great. They're all one-shots.
Mm-hmm.
But this isn't the Aftershock hour. This is...
That was this afternoon.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true. I forgot that. I saw that going on.
Yeah.
So, Bunny Mask. One of the biggest series of the year. And I think all of Aftershock's books have done really well.
Yeah.
But I think this one probably put them on the map, because everyone was reading this book and everyone was getting every cover.
Yeah, and this is artist by Andrea Mutte, and we're going to be, again, still trying to work out the details on that, but we're going to try and get him on the show, talk with him, because I am a huge fan of not just his work, but all watercolor work as the last few years. So, and he does quite a few. That one and Maniac of New York.
Yeah.
Which is another great book that I really like as well, and that's Aftershock as well. So.
That's a book that I wanted to put up here,
but
because
we just ran
haven't
out.
I haven't read it, so I didn't want to put it up there.
Oh,
but
okay.
I love the covers.
Yeah.
Every single one of them, like you said, those watercolors,
Mhm.
they're beautiful, beautiful covers. So I'm excited to get a chance to talk with him as well.
Oh, I didn't just realize I made these candy things look like boobs.
Oh well.
I told you that they announced yesterday that they've already got a free comic book day, all new material of Bunny Mask coming out. It's like Bunny Mask Tales or something.
Yeah,
on top of her stories.
way in advance.
Last in June, it said, I think. That's on top of the second volume starting up in the spring.
Mm-hmm. I guess. Well, carrying on with masks, let's skip ahead and let's show off some of your dorkiest costumes from the year.
Yeah, I'm gonna put some more effort into some new stuff in the year.
They weren't bad.
They were pretty good, man. That's me going to the Snake Eyes dojo. I actually really like that one. It makes me look pretty funny. That's Superman.
There's Ice Cream Man. That's just a good look. Looked like you were golfing in a bow tie.
Kinda.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
You wore that to the con.
One day I did. That's my Ninja Turtles for Last Ronin.
Oh, I didn't put that one on repeat either.
That's right.
But there's one that we didn't have a picture for.
Which is what?
But we did have a video for.
Oh, the chicken dance.
The chicken dance. So,
yeah, I was going to take a still of it, but I saw you were working on it video-wise. And this was so embarrassing. But at the same time, I had so much fun like making this costume and doing that makeup, man. I blew my mind, and so many other people couldn't believe I did that makeup myself. And all I did was look at one picture on Facebook of some stupid kid. I mean, some kid. So.
when we did it live.
Oh, plus it was live too, doing that dance.
You did it with no sound or no music.
Well,
at the time, we don't know how to add it.
Yeah, well, that too.
But when I've gone back and edited it since, so there is music to it. So we'll pop it on now, and you can all take a quick look and relive the joy.
At some point, Tyler will have to get a costume on.
I give you Winnipeg's Chicken Devil. Should have got the chicken dance in the background.
I didn't want to get kicked off YouTube. Okay, anytime now, Tyler.
No, I'm just sitting here. I'm just sitting here.
I am your devil.
Alrighty. Okay. Well, that's the chicken devil dance. Yeah, I agree. That is terrifying. Let's jump over to our transition. We'll give Nat a chance to
save my dignity.
Yeah, maybe recompose. We'll see you on the other side, folks. I didn't intend on playing that whole video, but we don't hear the sound on it when we play the videos like that, but we can see it. And the two of us were laughing too hard. We couldn't actually bring ourselves to stop the video because we needed to compose ourselves first. I love that video, and I'm glad we were able to do that.
Oh yeah, we this we stuff.
Yeah. Speaking of we, you can see there's now 3 of us. Mr. Stoney the Ghost.
Napoleon's been here the whole time, but
he's sleeping. He's passed out.
Yeah, Stoney's back. Goes to Christmas past. He's back. He disappeared for a little while. He was scared after Halloween there because I had my ghost trap out and my Ghostbuster stuff. But he's back now for a little bit. And you're right, Tyler. I think he doesn't look a little suspicious. I think he came here just to maybe try and get some gingerbread here. So we'll have to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes all Slimer on it and just eats it in one bite.
Okay, you're in my way. Get out of here, Stoney.
Well, at least he's house trained.
Yeah.
But that chicken dance there was actually a good transition because I didn't actually have it planned laid out this way, but Chicken Devil was one of our favorite books this year,
Yeah.
and not only was it one of our favorite books, it was one of our first covers we've done.
For sure. Yeah, we're just saying one of our first covers. We're not giving anybody a distinction anymore.
It's
too
where was
tough.
Wolverine's first appearance? You know, Hulk 180, Hulk 181.
Yeah.
You know, what was our first cover? Chicken Devil or Swamp Dogs? I almost did Chicken Dogs and Swamp Devil.
I see Chicken Dogs all the time.
Got to get the two of them together. See if they'll do a crossover.
That'd be wicked.
Crossover cover for us. And speaking of, we were able to do a interview with the writer
Buccellato.
here. Brian Buccellato, that's right. And that one was just a few weeks ago. And he was a really nice guy. And I don't know a whole lot of the writers and the artists until just recently this year. And he had done so much work on a lot of DC stuff.
He's been in the industry for a very long time.
Yeah, so that was great to talk to him. Great to get some insight on
I
stuff.
never read or played any of the Injustice stuff, but I know you did, and you were quite surprised at how much he was involved in that.
Yeah, he had been writing some of the Injustice comic series, which is one of the things that
I
got
think he said halfway through season 3, I think he said. All of season.
And that's one of the series that got me back into comic books.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, I mean, I guess you could credit the game, too, but that series as a whole was excellent. And
so is this book.
Yeah, and so is this book. And, I mean, those books were good. But to be working on his own thing, you can really see Brian's own, I guess...
flavor on it?
Flavor, yeah. He likes it extra hot. I think that's extra hot.
This book, that's funny saying that, because this book is about a guy named Mitch, and he has a partner, and they run a successful chain of chicken restaurants, like a KFC type thing. And he has Mitch's Hot Chicken. And Brian, when they were doing, like, the creative team was all getting together talking about this, they're like, oh, you have to have, like, a chicken recipe. So Brian actually came up with Mitch's hot chicken recipe, so that's pretty cool too. So
I think if you check out his Twitter account, he's got a few actual like cooking videos of
I've
him
seen
cooking
that
some
too.
of Mitch's famous chicken.
And he said he was gonna maybe actually put it out, and he said we could, if we get it, or when he gets it, we can have it. Yeah. And speaking of which too, I don't know if he's got the books yet, but we sent those books off a little while ago, so hopefully he got them very soon and get them back to us. And we got some signed copies of the books coming back to us, so give away some to the loyal fans and all that. But yeah, that's a great book. You guys said you got this guy, two guys running a restaurant. The one guy is cheated the Russian mafia of $2 million in heroin. They've come to collect, and Mitch doesn't know anything about it. His family gets killed in all this.
I'm not sure if he was a goofy suberban dad.
He's like, yeah,
it's
like
and it's not an intentionally funny story.
Yeah, he can't. He's not meant to be. He's not trying to be a vigilante or an assassin. It just keeps happening and stuff. But this guy's got a pretty hard
failing
side.
Upwards. That's what I've started calling it.
Failing upwards.
Failing upwards.
It's a good book. I enjoyed it. I'm still enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
I believe issue 3 is tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yeah. And our cover is great,
Yeah, I love our cover.
Behind us over
Hugh's
there. I don't
cover,
think we can even see it. Oh, yeah, you can kind of see it there.
Yeah. We got to meet Hugh this year, too. And Hugh did both our covers for us, this and for the next book, too, Swamp Dogs.
Yeah, good transition.
I know.
You're getting all right at it. And, yeah, Swamp Dogs. Another person that we got to interview was J.M. Brandt. Another great writer. And first book he'd ever worked on. And something he'd been workshopping for quite a few years. Yeah, 10 years. And it's not just him. He also has a co-writer. Yeah. Actually, I saw him pop up on the NatDaddy Instagram page.
Oh, really?
The other day. Yeah.
Cool.
And if you haven't checked out our Instagram, check out our Instagram.
And we have Spotify now, too. So we're on Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram. And hopefully your wish list.
I keep getting told to do TikToks.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Twitch. I don't even know what that is.
You
say, I know what that is.
Ugh, but that was your response to Facebook?
All of this. I never thought we'd be doing this less than a year ago. A year ago I was making fun of people that did this stuff. Now I'm basing my income on it.
Oh, you got a head coming out of your head.
That's Nappy. I pushed him.
How's it going, Nappy? Come see all your fans? No, going back to bed. Yeah, Swamp Dogs has been a good book. It's only been one issue, which is probably the strangest one to end up on our list because there's only been one.
But we've been working on it since the beginning of Nat Daddy, pretty much.
Yeah.
And also, too, we found out the reason in our interview why there's such a gap between the issue 1 and issue 2. And that's at Black Caravan. They have a policy that between issue 1 and 2 of a new book, they add an extra month so that the public can get a chance to get the book. And it gives the store owners an extra month to either want to order it or not order it.
Yeah, and that's right. This is a Black Caravan book. One of the ones that we were talking about is one of our other favorite publishers.
Yeah,
Black Caravan's an imprint from
Scout, which is so I said Scout. Mm-hmm. Again, Aftershock and Scout. Again, we like Boom as well too. We love all the indies, but those ones especially. I put too many on this side. I guess that side's going to be gumballs. Because someone keeps eating them too.
Well, there's a whole bag up there. I want the yellow ones, really. Our next book is one of your favorites of the year. You were actually just reading it the other night.
There's one more, and I was just getting caught up on it because I missed an issue, and I had to wait for it before I could read the next one.
And it's Cherry Blackbird, another one from Black Caravan.
Yeah. It's written by Joseph Schmelke there. And what I didn't know until, again, another interview with our interview with JM there, is not that Joseph Schmelke guy does a lot of writing for these Black Caravan books, but he's also like the boss of Black Caravan. So I'm going to try and get an interview with him in the new year. I think that would be a very interesting interview because you get not only a guy that writes it all, but here's a guy that runs an imprint. So,
you got any ideas you want to run past him, or?
I do have an idea. I told you that, but I'm not going to tell anybody that. That you tell me that was a good idea.
Yeah, it's a pretty good idea. Yeah. I like the idea of it. It's a good idea. I like the idea of it. Well, go figure. It's a good idea, hey?
Mm-hmm.
We're coming up to two of our absolute favorite books of the year, and this one is the one that you wanted on the list, and that's Gods of Brutality.
I like. Well, now, I've read 3 issues of both, and they're different, but I both like them for the same reasons, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
because they're totally different stories.
I really like the artwork in this one.
Yeah,
Gods of Brutality. Not quite my thing.
What Gods of Brutality?
Like
and you can describe Barbaric, and I'll do this one.
Yeah.
Gods of Brutality is about and you can see on the cover there, is about this rock star that I think he gets killed by a train. He was all drunk and that, and he gets killed by a train, and he goes to hell for 94 seconds, I believe it is, a minute and a half, and he comes back, and coming back, he
remember the exact seconds.
They make a big deal about that for some reason. And then he comes back, and I guess he's kind of sold his soul to the devil to come back and become this successful rock band, the Gods Brutality. So that goes on for like 10 years or something like that, and now it's time for his soul to be claimed again. So he tells people all this the whole time that this is going on, that he came. He doesn't hide it at all, but people just think it's part of his act or whatever. So he's doing this interview with a guy, like kind of Rolling Stone type of magazine, who's kind of like a nemesis of him for his whole career. Like, he's like shitting on him and stuff. And he's doing this interview with them because he knows at midnight he's going to get sucked back, and he does at that time. So then while he's in hell, right away, he starts, crying stuff. Oh, I don't want to be here. And he just starts praying to every god he can be possible. And there's all kinds of gross things going on in hell down there.
Yes, that wasn't the
graphic and gross, but kind of like Army of Darkness, funny stuff too.
Yeah.
So then he's praying to all these gods, and he's about to get sacrificed in that, or butt fucked or something like that. I think probably both. In this book, I think it's both.
Might have to mute that bit. I don't know. I don't know if you can say butt fuck on YouTube.
Yeah, you can. So then, so then he's praying to all these gods, and then you flash up to like heaven, and you see Zeus and Odin. Zeus and Odin talking, and they're complaining about their spoiled bratty sons, which are Thor and Hercules. So they hear this cry from the god of brutality here, saying, "Oh, please God, come save me" and stuff like that. So they think, "Oh, that would be a good mission to send our boys on to, learn them to be humble and not be such douchebags," type of thing. So they send them down there, and now it's Hercules and Thor, and they're kind of like bickering brothers, and they just hate each other, and they're sent there to get this guy out of hell. So now they have to travel through all these levels of hell to get out, and it's just one absurd adventure after another, and it's gross and vulgar. And I liked one issue they had the was it were rats? No, was it were rats? What were they? Were ants. They had these Russian were ants, which was like if you watch Hawkeye, if you've seen the Street Mafia there, Track Street Mafia. Imagine that, but guys that turn into giant ants, like were ants in that. So it's just one crazy adventure after another with these two bickering gods and this rock club. So it's pretty funny. And then you can do Barbaric, which is just as brutal and funny and gross and vulgar, but doesn't have rock and roll gods.
Yeah, and I think this one is like more the
truer to an actual barbarian.
Yeah, I like the atmosphere of this one. I guess the location.
Yeah,
I like all those more fantasies, and again only recent because I don't really like or I didn't really like.
That was Santa. He was checking on us.
Yeah.
He's like, he wanted to check, so he's like, "Oh, I think I saw you guys on the wrong list here."
No, that call caught me off. Where was I at?
Barbaric.
Oh yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of these fantasy worlds or anything until we started playing D&D.
Yeah.
But after that, this and reading this in particular, it felt like one of our games that we had done that you had DM'd. And just
I don't look at DM
the whole time. So we've got Owen the Barbarian, and
I forgot his name was Owen.
Isn't that such a great name? And he's been cursed, and he has this axe, and we don't really know too much about the axe other than
its name's axe.
It's bound to him, and
it's cursed.
But it's not a part of his curse. I think it's a separate artifact. We don't know.
No, it's cursed.
No, I know it's cursed, but I don't think it's part of his curse. I think it's in addition.
Oh.
From how I understood it.
I'm not sure on that then.
But it's almost like the devil on his shoulder. If he was like judge, jury, and executioner, he gets drunk off blood. This axe.
It's like if Jiminy the Cricket. Is that his name? Jimmy Cricket.
Jiminy Cricket.
It's like Jiminy Cricket. The more drunker he got, the more Punisher like he got.
Yeah. So yeah, Owen, he's been cursed to not be a barbarian, essentially.
Well, he's a barbarian, but he's been cursed to. He's immortal now.
Yes, he has to punish evil. He sees evil.
He can only kill evil.
Yeah, and that's where the axe comes in, because the axe is like, no, you can't walk away from that. You have to do that. And as he kills, and as the axe gets more blood, he becomes a little bit more loose with his reasoning.
Drunk.
So it starts off like, yeah, that guy murdered people, you should get him. But then it gets down to, hey, I just saw that guy throw a piece of garbage on the ground. Let's go decapitate him.
As he's hiccuping and that on blood.
And that's just the first issue. Then you get to the later issue, and
he meets a witch. He saves a witch, like Conan style.
Now,
there's a lot of tropes in here, but it's very funny.
This one, I think, is probably the shortest series on here, because it's only 3 issues.
But then that's the same with Gods Brutality, then it's breaking off and doing an arc. Kind of like Lake House. It was a 12-issue series, and then it breaks off until spring now. Kanto does all the little arcs, too, yeah.
Yeah. I can't wait for the next one to start up. I had originally thought it was supposed to be March.
I think it's May.
But it might be May. It was pushed a little bit.
Yeah.
And because there's nothing in the previews for it, because we may have been looking ahead at some future plans for this one, because it's one of our favorite books, and we have some ideas.
Maybe. We'll see.
We'll see what happens. But another one of our favorite books, and it's not a series that's ended yet, but ending soon.
And who did that book? That was from Vault.
I don't know, some dude named Jeff.
No, I meant Barbaric.
Oh, Barbaric.
That was from Vault, I believe.
Yes, that is Vault, yeah. No, I thought you meant Maze book.
I love this book.
Some dude named Jeff. I don't know if we've covered any of his stuff
This
on
is
here.
definitely right up there with the other one I said was in my top 3. I can't remember.
The Me You Love in the Dark?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've done a lot of Jeff Lemire books this year, and this is my favorite. Also because he does the art in it, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've enjoyed this book. I wouldn't put it up there as one of my tops.
Oh, I thought you ate these all. You nailed it, you.
No, that's what I said. I want the yellow ones from it.
I'll give it to you.
But Jeff Lemire has done a lot of books this year.
He's done a lot of books in general, but the last few weeks and months, there's been a lot of books.
Okay, hurry up with that. That's loud.
Oh, sorry.
I can see the sound bar going nuts.
It's like in the movie theater.
Yeah.
We saw Spider-Man. It's pretty good.
But we're still not talking about it.
And I think I got sick there, even though I wore a mask.
I don't think you got sick there. I think you're just an old man. There's not too much more to talk about this book. We've reviewed it every episode.
Every issue.
Well,
you gotta talk about it.
And the most general review I can give without spoiling stuff is the guy. I never remember his name. William.
Will.
He lost his daughter, and she was
To
in a
cancer.
young age. You want to explain it?
No, you didn't. I'm just filling in the details.
And so now years have passed since his daughter is, he's lost his daughter. He never says she dies. He always just says he's lost his daughter.
His wife, ex-wife.
Yes, his wife, yes, but he never says. He always says, "I lost my daughter."
Okay.
The book's from his perspective, not his ex-wife's.
Well, sometimes it's from Omni perspective, but whatever.
Anyway, she loved mazes.
The daughter did, who died from cancer.
Yes.
Do we ever hear her name? I don't
know.
think we ever do.
I don't know.
Yeah. But either way, go on.
But his name is William.
Will.
And his daughter died from cancer.
Yes. And she loved mazes, and she always did a maze in pen, red pen.
Yeah. So the artwork in this one, like we said, is done by Jeff Lemire. It's been
all melancholy,
except when it pertains to the daughter.
And the red line.
And it's always red color. Anything to do with the daughter is always red.
Because she wore a ravelly red sweater.
Right. So
everything is very metaphoric in here.
Mm-hmm. It's as much a journey in the real world as it is in his mental state.
Right. And why is that? You can tell that. I want to interrupt you.
Because he's crazy.
Well, not well, kinda. We don't know for sure. He's definitely unbalanced, but we don't know if it's because how much of it is true or not.
Mm-hmm.
The daughter is definitely gone, but he thinks the daughter still is alive and maybe lost in these dreams, or in the maze. So he goes into the dream world. He finds the maze, which he thinks was one of his daughter's old mazes, and actually gets it tattooed to his arm.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's
working one day at his construction site.
Yeah, he's an architect.
He sees from the top of this building.
Oh, that totally works into it, him being an architect.
Yeah.
I never even thought about that.
He's looking from the top of this building and sees
the city
is the maze. And he ends up tracking down the spot where to start or where to end. I think he thinks it's one at one point, but then discovers, oh no, this is the beginning.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I did one.
And then the most recent issue, he's following this trail, and he ends up at a location, and that's where it's ended so far.
Yeah. He's in the maze now, but it's not the maze he thought it was.
No. So
and we don't know if his daughter's alive or not. They do make it seem like when he encounters things in the maze, which are sometimes magical and sometimes not, they know of his daughter in that, though.
Mm-hmm. There was a series that we covered before this that was very similar called Parasomnia. Yes. And that one
by Colin Bunn. And again, all watercolor.
Oh yeah, all watercolor, great artwork, but the story was very confusing. I think we did a couple issues of it actually.
We did a couple, yeah. We always do a couple unless we want to do something special. It's like, but that one we just did a couple. But I read them all.
That one was more of dream world versus real world. And
it's always a dream world in that one.
In the real world, I don't remember if he's a hobo or something, but in the dream world, he's like this ranger much like something on Lord of the Rings. Like he's a forest ranger, and
he's not like Mr. Jellystone, but he's a
Mr.
or
Jellystone
Ranger Jellystone,
Oh,
Ranger
from
Smith, or Yogi Bear.
Yeah,
But yeah, he's a they call him a ranger.
Yeah,
the Masked Rider, I think they call him actually.
So this book definitely beats that one out, just because.
You found that one a little confusing.
Yeah, and I think quite a few people did, because I've seen this one talked about more than Parasomnia had been.
Yeah.
And our last book that we've got here.
That was from Dark Horse.
Yeah. Oh yeah, right. From Zenescope, our next book, and this one comes pretty close.
Whoa, you fell over. Sorry.
Comes pretty close behind Barbaric for one of my favorites.
And this book is similar to like the other one as well too. It's like we did a lot of books that are kind of similar, but they're not. It's kind of like whenever a movie comes out that's similar, you get other movies that are very similar too.
Yeah, and this is another one. It's only a 3-issue series, and it was hilarious.
This one is totally going to become a Seth Rogen movie.
Oh, definitely. The main character here
is Seth Rogen.
It is Seth Rogen. And essentially, the guy's a drunk. His wife is, I don't know if it's divorced, but they're in the act of getting a divorce.
Yeah. Got a couple kids.
He's left the house, or she's made him leave, and he's gone to a new town to start a new life. He buys a house kind of at a really good deal, and he wants to, fix it up and
become the family dream house. It's his long shot of an idea. Instead of addressing his problems, being not out of work and a drunk, he's gonna make this dream house.
Yeah. So in his first night there, or one of his first nights there,
first night,
some people break into the house, and
those aren't break-in people. Those I thought those were workers.
Oh, maybe they were workers.
We hired workers, but they were just gonna rob them.
Yeah, they didn't break in. They were let in, and they were shady workers. That's right.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he sees it happen.
He does see it happen. He sees the ghost drag him upstairs and kill him and everything.
Right. So he ends up going to see a priest, and he's like, "Oh, is it a demon?" He goes, "I don't know. What's a demon?" Well, a demon's more expensive.
And a demon's different. It's more expensive, or is it just a ghost?
It's a ghost. It's a ghost, and this priest ends up getting just torn straight in half.
Yeah, because he said, "Okay, hilarious. I won't do it if it's the one." He goes, "No, I'm sure it's the other." And it's so funny because he's like, "You fucker, you lied. He's a demon."
Yeah.
As he's getting killed, but she won't kill him.
No,
because she kind of feels bad for him and kind of falls in love for him, and he gets used to her a little bit.
And he starts his muse,
and he starts. He totally improves himself and stops drinking and gets.
He starts selling his paintings of her in the house.
She's
the
always
house gets all renovated, all put together.
Yeah,
and it seems like things are finally getting really good for him.
And then his wife decides to seize that and decides to come back to him.
Yeah, and then the wife decides, you know what,
let's he's been sleeping with the ghost and everything. Like they have a real affair going on.
It ends up spiraling from there. I think the kids and the wife move in, but hasn't seen the demon ghost, whatever woman.
They're only there for like a day or something before it happens.
And well, I'm not going to spoil.
Yeah, but it's very fun.
Everything is resolved. The family is sort of freed of them, it seems. But it does lend itself to look like there might be a sequel series of some sort.
Yeah, they kind of banish her a little bit.
Whether it's aside from this family or not, it definitely has legs to go elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoyed it. It was enough cliffhangery to be like, oh, that's cool. Something like Tales from the Dark Side, or some of those old, don't get offended when I say this, but cheesy 80s TV shows.
Yeah, totally. Move that bass there.
Well, it's supposed to sit in it.
I thought I was going to put it on here. Oh. Keep talking.
Trying to figure out what you're doing.
Well, I was going to... Is there enough here on the bottom to stick, probably? Maybe
no, I don't think so.
Well, but I can do this so I can see the outline.
But, yeah, so that's the last book that we have there. I don't think that there's really... I mean, there's a lot of other books, but I think we covered probably the majority of our best books.
Those are the ones I loved all year and stuck out to me when I was kind of going through books and like, oh yeah, that was one I looked forward to reading. Or that
thought of even putting in some of the books that were my least favorite, but
why? There's two. If you're gonna add more books, you're not gonna put in books that suck.
Well, like some that stuck out was that Hellboy Silver Lantern Club. That one wasn't very good.
And that Bigfoot Frankenstein you didn't care for.
Bigfoot Frankenstein was terrible. I hated that one. Or there was that Joy Operation. That one wasn't very good.
I haven't read any more of that, so I don't know.
As many good books there were this year, there was a lot of not so good books.
Which is always true.
Which is why we didn't cover a lot of Marvel and DC. A lot of them not spectacular. So many Spider-Man titles, so many X-Men and Batman titles, Wonder Woman.
Well, at least some of the Batman titles were okay, whereas most of the Spider-Man titles were just brutal.
Yeah.
And unnecessary.
But now going into the new year, if you look ahead at what's coming by the end of, I think, February, you'll see what's coming. If nothing else, next year looks really strong for cover art.
Always.
Batman has probably got the best cover art, and they're cover A's, not cover B's, and in years.
Oh, remember what I told you about that? I didn't know if that writer was going to be writing, how long it was going to be on there, Joshua Williamson?
Oh, in the new Batman theme?
Yeah, that story itself is only for 3 issues. That arc. So I don't know how if he's writing past that. But remember I did say that to you. That's it. That's all I just wanted to add to that.
Looks like you're just putting the finishing touches on the little gingerbread house here.
Getting very close.
I'm surprised they didn't fall apart when you moved it. I was not quite impressed, actually.
I remember I made all those D&D houses.
Not out of icing.
Same idea.
So, that's our year in review.
We'll be back next week and we'll cover the books from last weekend this week because there's not a whole lot being the end of the year, but there's a few good books. I know that Batman book that a lot of people were looking forward to is out today.
Oh, that I Am Batman?
I believe it's called that.
Or is it I Am Batman?
I think so.
I think that's the one with Lucius Fox's other kid.
Oh, it could be.
I don't remember. But yeah, that one has been in their ends of their books for months now. But yeah, so we'll catch you guys all next time. I hope everyone has a good Christmas holiday, and
thanks for everybody for supporting us this year, and that we're just gonna try and do more and more new stuff next year. And like I said, I never ever thought I'd have a comic book store business, or not bookstore, but comic book business, and now we're doing CGC and CBCS. Submissions and that. We're going to do the first one in mid-January, so anytime after Christmas, you guys can, I know some people have contacted us. You can contact us again, or we'll try and reach back out. It's been a while.
There's been lots of changes this year.
Well, this year itself is one big change. So.
Went from only having raw comics to having... and I wouldn't
slabs.
Say just as many slabs, but quite
I didn't like
exclusives
before.
Or even this collection of omnibuses that we've been building just in the last 3 weeks to a month.
Yeah.
Lots of changes, and it's good. I think for us in particular, starting NatDaddy has been a bit of a saving grace for both of our sanities, being off work during the pandemic.
Sure.
And it's been a good project. So we really appreciate you guys, even if it's just checking us out, dropping in, saying hi every so often, or anything. It all helps. We all
it's turned into a way bigger thing than I ever anticipated it to be, and probably for you too. Mm-hmm. But I'm okay with that. I like that. I like to see us get more.
So we'll see everyone very soon.
Peace out, everybody. Happy holidays.
Look at that. Look close. We're on the tree. Look, you're at the top of the tree. I'm at the bottom.
I see that.
I need to get an actual helmet.